Here we are looking at simplifying fractions, creating equivalent fractions by also enlarging them. We're looking at what to do with mixed numbers and improper fractions, converting between the two, and we're looking at how to change fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. Each of these fractions can be simplified by dividing the top and the bottom by the same number. I'm going to give you 4 examples here, starting with 4/10. I can see that both of these numbers are in the 2 times table. They're both even. So if I divide the top and the bottom by 2, I will simplify these numbers to 2/5. These fractions are equivalent because they have the same size, but they are simplified by using the smallest numbers possible. With the second example here, I can see that 21 and 28 are both in the 7 times table, so I'm going to divide top and bottom by 7. I do that. 7s into 21 go 3, 7s into 28 go 4. My simplified fraction is 3/4. With my third example here, because both numbers end in a 0, I know they're both in the 10 times table. So if I divide top and bottom by 10, I can reduce my fraction to 1/5. Now the final example. My first thought is 36 and 54 are both in the 9 times table. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 9. There are 4 9s in 36 and there are 6 9s in 54. But what I then notice about my simplified fraction is I still have 2 even numbers, which means they're not actually in their simplest form yet. So I'm going to go a step further and I'm going to divide both of these numbers by 2. 2s into 4 go 2, 2s into 6 go 3, so I've simplified my fraction to 2/3, taking 2 steps. And we want to remember that sometimes it's easier to take smaller steps to get to the right answer. And it doesn't matter how many steps we take, as long as we get to the simplest form in the end. When we were simplifying fractions, we divided the top and bottom by the same number. That maintained the balance of the fraction and kept it the same size. Sometimes we need to make the numbers in our fraction bigger. We need to create equivalent fractions, but with different numbers in them. We'll do this by multiplying the top and the bottom by the same number. And to demonstrate this, I've got 4 of the same fraction. I've got 2/3. In my first example, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 4. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12. 8/12 is an equivalent fraction to 2/3. Here I'm multiplying the top and the bottom by 7. 2 times 7 is 14, and 3 times 7 is 21. You see by my third example, I've been instructed that my denominator needs to be 30. And if I want to make an equivalent fraction to 2/3, I have to identify what the multiplier was here. What did I multiply 3 by to make 30? 10 times 3 makes 30. So if I've multiplied the bottom, I must do the same to the top, multiply by 10. If my denominator is going to change to 30, my numerator must change to 20. 20 over 30 is an equivalent fraction to 2/3. I have a similar example here with my fourth. This time I've been instructed that my numerator must be 18. So I need to identify what I've multiplied 2 by to make 18. That's 9. My denominator, therefore, must be multiplied by 9 also to continue the equivalent fraction. 3 times 9 is 27. 18 over 27 is the equivalent of 2/3. Here I have an example of A, a mixed number, and B, an improper fraction. I need to be able to switch from this form to this form and back again easily. First of all, I'm going to show you how to turn the mixed number into an improper fraction. I multiply my whole number by my denominator. 5 times 2 gives me 10. I then add in my numerator. 10 plus 3 gives me 13. I have 13 fifths. Going the other way, I'm going to do a division. I'm asking, how many 5s are there in 47? Now I only want the exact number, so if I divide 47 by 5, I get 9 exactly with a remainder of 2, because 9 times 5 is 45. That means my whole number is 9 and my numerator is 2. My denominator remains the same as this, 5. Sometimes in an exam question you might be asked to add or subtract or even multiply a mixed number by a fraction. You must turn it into a top-heavy or improper fraction first. When you've completed a calculation, you might be asked to give your answer as a mixed number. So you will need to do this process if the answer comes out as an improper fraction first.